Hey, it's Ross Bacon with Role-Playing Public Radio.
Not going to do that intro again. Yeah, you're right.
No, we're assholes. We're just assholes.
No, hey, this is Ross Bacon with Role-Playing Public Radio. We're playing a one-shot of Bleak Spirit. This is a game I realized I owned because I found it in the itch.io TTRPG Transwrite bundle, along with 492 other things, and it didn't take until I started diving through that thing. Oh, I actually own this. It is a storytelling game, collaborative storytelling game, that uses the same system as another game called Lovecraft-esque, but this is not trying to do Lovecraftian mythos. This is instead trying to emulate the From Software's family library of games, although it is more open-ended. You could actually, there's no like specific genre tropes that are enforced in it.
Other than depression?
It is called Bleak Spirit. It is supposed to be kind of lonely. It is about a wanderer, a lone traveler from somewhere else who bears a heavy destiny. And so, in order to get started, of course, we have with us here today Aaron and Caleb. Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
And Caleb.
I am the resident Bleak Spirit, yes.
Yes, this is true. Now, we're all going to be... so I'm going to start with, as the facilitator, reading from the teaching guide, which is in the book, and I printed out, and we actually take turns reading from this. So, we're going to use our teaching guide to help us learn this game. We'll read it section by section as we play, so that we're not trying to learn all the rules in one go. If you got questions, go ahead and ask, but don't worry if in the early scenes you aren't sure how things are going to work. We'll get to that. And then, yeah.
I think I discovered the part of the book that made Ross run this one.
What, the teaching guide?
Yeah.
It does sound like an interesting, novel way to teach a game.
And I assume you don't want me to read the stage directions, so...
The italicized things are the stage directions.
Yeah.
I need to read those. I did not, so yeah.
All right, but the next part, the player. This is a storytelling game to describe a lone wanderer amid a foreboding, melancholy landscape, the great destiny they bear, and how that unfolds when they confront their adversary. We're going to take turns revealing lore about the world or the adversary, and after each scene, we'll privately leap to conclusions about what the real truth might be. We'll write down our conclusions, but we won't share them, not yet. When it's your turn to reveal lore, your conclusions will steer your contributions to the story. In the end, one of us will weave everything together into a climactic finale, if I can say climactic correctly today.
All right. Each scene, one of us will play the Wanderer, one will play the world, and the rest of us will be the chorus. The roles of the world and Wanderer move to a new player after each scene, so everyone will get a turn. The Wanderer is the main character, a mighty adventurer who has come to this place following a particular destiny. When we play the Wanderer, we do not describe their inner thoughts and feelings, only their actions. The world frames scenes, reveals lore, describes the people, places, and events of the Wanderer encounters, and controls how they respond to the Wanderer's actions. The chorus helps the world by adding atmosphere and details, and by playing secondary characters if the world needs them to do so.
Before we start, we should have a clear idea of the kind of story we want to tell. By default, the game is set in a world of swords and sorcery amidst the ruins of former greatness. There may be great civilizations elsewhere in the world, but here, where the story takes place, there's only faded grandeur and melancholy reminders of what happened before, what went before, populated by dangerous creatures and xenophobic remnants of former inhabitants. The few talkative souls who come to this locale are eccentric creatures, focus on their own thoughts above all else. They may prove useful allies or bitter enemies.
So this is the 5e Dark Souls hack, right? I read about this on Twitter.
This is not that.
Where's my binder full of stats?
We could set it in the 5e. It is a game. Yeah, we could set the game in the 5e Dark Souls. Where the Wanderer's trying to get through broken game mechanics.
Yeah, I need a D 6,938. Yeah, or whatever.
10 hours later.
Yeah.
All right. The world is. This is a world where morality is decidedly gray. The easy path is always the soft lie or timely betrayal. Altruism is a quick route to self-destruction or exploitation by the more cynical. There are heroes in this world, yet the Wanderer may even be one, but they are a tragic breed. This is a world where information never comes easily. Other people keep their cards close to their chest, revealing only what you know. Scrawled graffiti offer clues to what happened there. Loose pages torn from ancient tomes give cryptic descriptions of the adversary's origins and nature. And yet this world is where beauty still lingers. Amid the ruins, the grime, and the corruption, there remain places of breathtaking wonder and people who gladly take the suffering of others onto their own shoulders. These moments are all the more precious for their rarity, but we'll probably see at least one.
Role-playing games are, by their nature, unpredictable, and that's part of the fun! There's an exclamation point there. But it means that without a little care, stories can go places that we don't want, so we've got a couple of rules here to make that course that we all like. First of all is the ban list. If you know up front that there are topics which you don't want to see, we're going to all take a few minutes and now write them down. These can be things which you don't want to come up because they make you uncomfortable, things that you don't want to deal with right now, or just topics or themes you are bored of.
Okay. I'm just going to put one on for Christian Demons in Hell because I just think it's an overdone trope. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think we're, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Good enough for me.
Suck it, Mammon. These items are the ban list. Everyone needs to know what's on here because as far as this game is concerned, these things will not happen. If it looks like the story's heading in the direction of one of these elements, anyone can call halt. We'll find a new way to go from where we are or rewind far enough that one appears. Second rule is this. It's the X card.
Mm-hmm.
This is the X card. If anyone feels like the story is going somewhere that they don't want it to, whether it's written on the ban list or just something you decide in the moment as you become aware of it, then just wave this card or tap it or say X card or otherwise indicate a big X. When that appears, we stop what we are doing. We might be able to steer the scene in a different direction and continue, or we might need to stop playing altogether. We'll work it out if it happens. Different people handle different things different ways, and our priority should always be the comfort of everyone playing. Thank you for helping me with this.
We're going to start by establishing the jumping off point for a story which has been established in the scenario that we're using. We also agree to the general tone, duration, stakes of the game. So this is going to be an open-ended part where we talk about the tone and some other things. Now there are options of doing this as part of an ongoing game, but it's going to be a one-shot, so that's one of the things we're establishing. And also in general, there are 3 parts to the game. Part 1 consists of 5 scenes, exploring the world, confronting dangers, discovering lore. 1 piece of lore is introduced in every scene. Part 2, up to 3 more scenes in a similar vein. Environment growing darker and more dangerous with each edition. And then Part 3, the final confrontation between the Wanderer and the adversary. Then an epilogue wraps things up. So when the scene starts, the world decides the person playing the world decides if it's a danger scene, an interaction scene, or a feature scene. And we'll get into those in a second, but danger, obviously, the Wanderer has to pay a price to get past some sort of danger, killing a monster, overcoming a hazard, disarming a trap, something like that. Interaction scenes, where they meet somebody and they can talk to them. Or, usually just one person. And then feature scenes are shorter, and they kind of like a rare moment of quiet and chance for the Wanderer to show what sort of person they are. So, let's see here. There are some things about the tone that are sort of written in the game's rules. We do not describe the Wanderer's internal monologue. We know how they speak and how they act and how they behave, so we only see what is external. We don't see anything internal.
Third-person objective. Okay.
Yeah.
Hemingway's short story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No explanations, only lore. Truth of things is not going to be found in a discarded journal or heard from a helpful passerby. We may never know the truth and have to settle for truths of our own. To each a world entire. The other characters the Wanderer meets will never seem quite right. Cryptic, preoccupied with their own concerns, perhaps only visitors to the place. No one will give a direct answer to direct questions, but we can change things. We can make things clearer. We could make things more heroic and unambiguously. Good versus evil. We can make the Wanderer. I would say I would keep this. We could make the Wanderer failable. Like they may not get to the adversary, but I would say for a one shot, let's have the Wanderer at least get to the end. They may not survive the adversary, but let's get to the end. And then levity. By default, Bleak Spirit has almost no jokes in it. But if you want to dramatically change the tone of a game, go ahead and make it funny. Mock the tropes it draws on, and describe the Wanderer succeeding through luck and skill. So this is a conversation. So what do y'all think?
I will try and respect the authorial vision of the game, and not make fun of FromSoft writing the entire time.
Okay,
do my level best.
All right, I think that's
a few may slip through.
I will also I will try my best as well. I think that's a good tone to pick.
I will try.
You're not even your best. You're just
not even. Try. I'll try some.
Yeah, you'll try some.
Not like hard.
Not hard. Yeah.
Let's be honest. My sole really experience with a From Software game, I didn't really come from it with a positive experience.
Well, I mean, then that sounds like you can connect to the Bleak Spirit then. So. Let's see here. Then we can determine like the type of story there is. There are 4 types. Passing through, the Wanderer will survive, and while there will be definitely changes in the setting as a result of the storyline, the changes will be localized or minor. The Doomed Pilgrim. This is the climax of the Wanderer story. They may not survive, or if they do, they'll be forever transformed by their experiences. But local changes notwithstanding, the world will go on much as it always has. Traveler in Black. The Wanderer is only here for a short while and will lose little, but the world will forever be altered by their passage. Or Ultimate Finale. The Wanderers reach the end of their story, and the fate of the world hinges on their choices. Everything can change, nothing is safe. So, what do you think? Just passing through? That's pretty easy. In terms of, like, we don't, like, because this is a one-shot, we're not going to be as deeply connected to it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's
okay. But if you were doing, you could do multiple games with this and build up to Ultimate Finale.
I think so,
yeah. Let's see here.
Well, I kind of like the idea of Ultimate Finale only because it goes through and we're just confused by the end. Like, how did this happen? How long has he been here?
I don't think I will have found the Ultimate Finale. I didn't read the description inscribed on the inside of my pants for the clue that I need to solve the riddle.
The seamstress of the stars.
So you figure out the tone, the duration, the stakes. A few details about the setting, referring back to the van list. All right, so now we're sort of world building at this point in terms of what we're. So we need to figure out where this is happening actually, and what the kind of stuff that is going to be around. So. A few details about the setting. So we're doing sort of like the suggested fantasy, medieval-ish, but lots of kind of setting. So an area is like a big is a place that can have multiple locations within it. Each scene takes place at a location. So like a manor could have multiple, like each, like the ballroom, the throne room. Each of those could be like, well, they have some examples. Let's see here. The forest. So the secluded laboratory could have like the beast pens, the learning tower, the guest wing, the experiment chamber, or the forest could have ruins, the weird magical tree, the battleground. So what kind of area? First, like what is the terrain, the type of environment that this story is going to be taking place in? Like
the Bone Quarry.
The Bone Quarry?
That's where we get them.
Okay. All right. Well, it has multiple locations in it. So.
Okay. Oh, wait. I mean, there's a processing area. Okay. You got to mine the bones.
Okay.
Probably selling the bones somewhere. Maybe some sort of smelter for bone-related materials.
So, obviously, sun bleaching stands. So
sun bleaching stands. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A workers' quarter.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bone Quarry.
Bone Boss's manor.
Let's see here. So that's the area. So.
And don't forget the bone market too, because you have to get your heirloom bones out easily, or else.
Let's see. One location per. Okay, so we've already named some. So let's name one location per player. I will...
The bleach fields.
The bleach fields, okay,
yeah.
so that's good. Then let's see here. I will take what would you call it? The examiner's office. All right.
I feel like it's a terrible shirt I saw in a bar once. The Bone Examiner.
Actually, yeah. And one place of worship too. The House of Skulls. So,
House of Skulls. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't say the House of the Screaming Skulls, but that'd be derivative. So.
Yeah. Okay. And now we need to talk about the Wanderer. The Wanderer needs a name, a style, look, and so then a background, a trinket from their homeland. The Wanderer is not from here. He is not from the Bone Quarry.
Okay.
And then something about their behavior. So we'll do this one at a time. So what is our Wanderer named?
Osk.
Osk? Okay. Yeah. We'll add a K to that to make it more fantasy. Osk. O-S-C-K. Yeah. Style.
What's our build?
Yeah.
This run. What are we on? We're doing faith. This is a luck build.
Actually, this is no. It's going to be heavy armor, specializing in cold. He comes from a far north land specifically.
Sword and subordinate. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. How about his armor is made of like it's actually made from magical ice, that never, it never melts. Magical ice armor.
He's numb to the world and his feelings.
Well, we don't. I mean, we can't tell. We don't. That's internal. Like,
Yeah.
Made Mr. Freeze.
yeah. Magical ice armor. What kind of weapons?
Oh man. I mean, what ice weapons too, right?
No,
I was thinking like hooks and things like he could use to latch on.
to Pinhead.
So we're playing a mini boss.
Well, like something he could use to latch onto a larger beast. Like if he's hunting. Well, we don't even know if it's a he.
Maybe just like a single harpoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Harpoon. Okay.
Like he can either do the impale or he can just grab the rope and go all spinny.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whee!
All
That's what that moves.
I agreed.
Oh, okay.
I like the harpoon idea.
Whee!
All right. So we already also established the background from the frozen north. Which and they hunt. Hunter of beasts.
Wailing in the Bone Quarry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're whales. Okay.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
what you typically use harpoons for.
Well, whale-like creatures.
Steam whales.
These whales fight
Sky
back.
whales.
I said steam whales too because their breath is the only thing that actually breaks the ice on there too, so it becomes
Okay.
deadly.
They have a trinket from their homeland. What is it? We don't know why they have this thing is likely to remain a mystery, but they have something they brought with them.
An hourglass. A crystalline hourglass.
Ooh, I like that.
Does this work, or is this one of those joke picks that actually doesn't have an effect on your stats?
Behavior. No, this is an anchor for playing the character, such as inquisitive, cautious, and patient, and so on. So, what is some observable behavior that you could get from this character, from Osk? Could be silent, could be patient, could be, I'm thinking like hunter-like traits.
He does the Mifune thing a lot. Constantly scratching himself.
All right.
Itchy when not killing things. Yeah.
Itchy, fidgety.
I was going to say Zatoichi, where he's asking people for massages all the time.
No. I am not asking for a massage in the Bone Quarry.
Yeah.
I absolutely refuse.
Power. The Wanderer is a potent individual equal to almost any challenge. What is the source of their strength? Perhaps they gain power from the beasts that they slay and consume? I mean, it's pretty.
I actually have a worse one.
Okay.
Drawing in the final breath from what they kill.
Ooh.
Go as dark as possible. There you go.
Drawing from final breath of their prey. Damn, that's fucking... Yeah. The Breath Hunter. It does sound like a boss in Dark Souls. All right. Let's see here.
I guess it would be pretty creepy to be murdered by a guy who then immediately made like a straw-sucking face. And...
or just immediately, I'm trying to make out with you. It's like, whoa.
Well, it's probably like when you die from a harpoon, you just have to exhale.
I mean, that's why you need a harpoon.
It's a
You gotta
big
get close.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring him over there.
Yeah, exactly.
The breath sucks.
Yeah.
Get over here.
But they exhale this. The breath is always visible, like if you're in a cold, because the harpoon freezes you. So you just inhale, absorb that.
God, we really have made Sub-Zero, haven't we?
Yeah,
Sub-Zero / Scorpion.
Yeah, yeah.
Dash of Scorpion.
Yeah. I mean, I take it. We're nearly ready to begin our tale. The first scene has to contain some piece of lore which hints at the truth of the area or the powerful adversary who haunts it. Anyone has a good idea for this lore, don't say anything. But you can play the world. I'll play the world for the first scene. At the end of each scene, we'll pass our World Wanderer chorus to the left, so everyone gets a turn in every roll. So I'll be the world, and who wants to be the Wanderer, and who wants to be the chorus for the first scene? Then we'll just rotate.
I can do the chorus for the first scene, so...
Okay.
The world is like the author of the book, except that they don't get to control the actions of the Wanderer. The world chooses whether a scene is set, who or what is present, and whether a scene focuses on danger, interaction, or a feature of the setting. The world describes how the other inhabitants of the setting act and play any talking characters like an actor in a film or a play. The world should bring the chorus in by pausing often to allow them to contribute details and elaborations, asking them questions, and building on the answers. Finally, the world chooses when to end the scene. Usually the scene ends when the Wanderer leaves this location. And then you get to read the next part. It's Wanderer at the bottom right.
The Wanderer is the main character and is in every scene. When it's your turn to play the Wanderer, you speak for him, again like you're playing them in a film or play, and describe their actions. But it's the world's job to tell you the results of those actions. Pay special attention to the Wanderer's mannerisms and expressions, because the Wanderer is a cipher. Their history, their true nature, and the inner thoughts are unknown to us.
All right. The chorus. Everyone else plays the chorus. The chorus supports the world in a number of ways, primarily by adding sensory descriptions and elaborating on whatever the world describes. When you're a chorus member, you don't take over the scene, introduce lore, or do anything that would change the direction of the story. Instead, you try to reinforce the atmosphere which the world is creating. In addition, when the world asks questions and the chorus provides answers, top-of-the-head answers, not considered ones. Finally, if the Wanderer ends up in a conversation with multiple people, the chorus plays secondary characters, so the world doesn't end up talking to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. During the first two parts of the game, scenes are focused on discovering lore. During every scene, the world will reveal one piece of lore. Lore is information either about the area itself or about the adversary, the powerful threat that dominates it. The lore can be anything. Graffiti, clues, or theories dropped by other characters, a distant odor, a symbol or a manifestation, or an overwhelming vision, anything that stands out as significantly strange against the backdrop of the world we create. Something to remember when introducing lore is that in the game of Bleak Spirit, knowledge is never straightforward. Lore does not reveal information, but hints at it in a cryptic and an arcane manner. Also bear in mind that we can add in bits of atmospheric detail as the world or the chorus without making them lore, and we can reuse old lore freely. When lore is introduced, we write the details down on an index card. Whenever we write down on these cards, it'll help us to create the adversary at the end of the game. The world, let's see here, hands us the Wanderer. Okay.
Oh. The last thing to cover before we start are special cards. Everyone gets...
Oh, we don't do the special cards for the first time we play.
Never mind, then what do I read?
I guess that's it then.
Special cards for the next playthrough.
Yeah, it said the first time you play, you probably shouldn't use the cards. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and get started with the game. So as the world, I'll pick the first scene. And I will say and I get to set the location that we're in for the first scene, and what type of scene it is. So I'm going to say we're just going to start out with a danger scene, and this is the Spine Bridge. It is a bridge to the Bone Quarry, made of monstrous spines. Creatures that were far larger than human, and tied together with cartilage, ancient now. The sun is setting. On the other side of the bridge, it is fog. We do not see what is on the other. Where the wanderer, as Osk enters, starts walking on the spine bridge. He the area comes out of is foggy. We don't see what that area is like. But we do see the spine bridge has a massive sign at the far end in an ancient language. Something is written above. We don't know what it is. It is, of course, possibly it is illegible because many of the bones and other metal bits woven to make it are fallen apart. But there is a gangly figure guarding the bridge. It has a cloak covering it and has a wide-brimmed hat, and it carries in its hands a pickaxe, dragging it along the ground. It calls out to the wanderer that no one may enter. The Bone Quarry is closed, especially to outsiders. So what does the wanderer do?
Osk looks at the time of day, takes off his pack, and begins preparing a fire.
Okay.
At the base of the spine bridge.
At the base? Like he's at the bottom of the base?
No, waiting to... He has not entered the spine bridge.
Okay.
He's just off of it, yeah.
Okay. So he starts making a fire. Let's see. The guard, the bridge guard, we'll just call it. What kind of... he takes something else out from beneath his cloak. What is it, of course?
It's a pipe. So one that is made of a obvious oversized femur.
Okay.
That is carved into horrific shapes. It's like Meerschaum shapes of human agony. So, and just begins packing it with some sort of plant material while staring at the wanderer from the edge of the bridge.
Okay. All right. So so there's this tense standoff between the bridge guard and the wanderer. So the wanderer's made a fire at this point. What does he do next?
He meditates there until nightfall.
Okay.
When it grows cold.
It grows cold. Okay. What else changes about this place when it becomes night?
When it changes night, the bridge, even though the air and the atmosphere is becoming cold, the bridge, oddly enough, starts to become warmer, as though that the marrow that is within the bones that it's constructed of is somehow still alive and generating heat.
Okay. And that heat that actually draws nocturnal creatures below both the bridge guard and Osk can hear the flapping of thousands of wings as bats fly through beneath the bridge, catching insects drawn to the warmth and the light. There is a soft red glow coming from inside these ancient spines. But yeah, Osk needs to pass through sooner or later.
When the wind is at its coldest and whipping over the spine bridge, he takes a small pot of now boiling water off of the fire in one hand, and then goes walking onto the bridge with his harpoon as a cane almost. Yeah.
Okay. The bridge guard starts stalking towards him, hefting the pickaxe with what was he doing with the pipe? The femur pipe?
He was smoking it. So.
Okay, he puts the pipe away, hefts the pickaxe in both hands, and gets ready to strike the wanderer down. But how does Osk? The duel is afoot.
He throws the water behind him. And the pot as well, and then holds up the harpoon to defend against the Watcher's attacks. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing: the chorus, the Wanderer will overcome this threat. That is sort of the nature of the game, but he will have to pay a price. And the chorus gets to give two options, and then the Wanderer gets to pick. Which of those two? Now, in part one, the threats are relatively minor. Osk is going to just annihilate this bridge guard one way or the other. So, let's see here. They have some suggestions here, but basically, you get to determine what are two possible prices the Wanderer could play.
Okay. The Wanderer will obviously take down the foe of this bridge guard.
I have some examples if you want some examples of.
Sure, we can listen to this.
All right, so torn clothing, scrapes and bruises, winded, slow poisoning. That a promise you intended to keep, an ally or a friend got hurt. Distracting visions, a curse of ill luck, a strange compulsion, a minor infection or allergic reaction, or your self-image. You didn't think you were capable of that. Okay. So you give him two options, and the Wanderer gets picked.
So one is that the fight that you've taken causes such a loud commotion that it disrupts the bats that are feeding underneath the spine bridge and send them into a fury, which unfortunately you are bitten multiple times and gain a minor fever over the next couple days.
That's my price.
Or as you finish off the guard and attempt to steal the breath as a part of your custom, he takes one last breath through his pipe and feeds that into you, and you can hear screaming as you breathe in what you assume is the anguished souls this person has killed, which will be at least a minor poisoning for the night and giving you horrible nightmares.
All right, I'll do that one.
Okay. So you can narrate how the battle concludes.
Osk blocks many attacks from the bridge guard capably until he throws his harpoon down and jumps over the side of the spine bridge, holding a rope, spinning around it and coming back behind it on the other side. But unarmed, away from his harpoon, the bridge guard advances and then hits the now frozen water across the spine bridge, at which point Osk rips the rope and knocks the creature prone before coming down and stabbing it in its chest. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. As you finish off, as Osk finishes off the bridge guard, he cries out, "It is forbidden by the prophet to enter. It is cursed." And that is the first bit of lore. So just write that down, I guess, we can just write it on one piece of paper. Bone Quarry. Forbidden. It is by the prophet and cursed. Great. Handwriting errors. So that ends the first scene. And now we have a few things to do. First of all, while the scene is fresh in your mind, we're going to leap to conclusions. This means writing down what you think is really going on. What the real story behind this place is, or what the adversary might be. Most importantly, you do this without discussing with the other players. Everyone's idea should come from them and them alone. At this point, none of us have much to go on, so the ideas will be pretty wild. That's fine. You'll be able to refine them after every scene, and by the time the in-games are on, you have a concrete idea of what's going on. Second, if the Wanderer has been behaving in a consistent manner, we can add another behavior to the index card. We don't have to, but we can. Third, if we've learned anything about the area locations, we note that down on the relative index cards. And then we pass our rolls to the left. So I'm going to pause the recording so we can... There are 4 questions. What was this area at its height of glory? How did it fall? What is the nature of the adversary? How was the adversary linked to the fall of the area?
So you have to answer all those as the jumping to the conclusions?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And these are things... so I put... someone on the game's itch page suggested you put it on a separate piece of paper, each question. So we'll pause the recording right here so you can all do that, and we can do that after every scene. All right, we're back, and we've all leaped to some great conclusions, I'm sure. At the end of this, we'll all share it and talk about that. But we're now in scene 2, and everyone's roles passes to the left. So Aaron is now the world.
Okay.
Caleb is now the chorus, and I'm the wanderer. So we need a new location somewhere within the Bone Quarry. The traveler has left the spine bridge.
Okay.
And you have to figure out also what type of scene it is. Now, there only have to be 2 danger scenes in the first act, or 5 scenes total. We've already had 1 danger scene. So we could do another danger scene immediately, but we can also do interaction and feature scenes. Interaction scenes are where there is someone to talk to. You would roleplay that person. If they're secondary characters, I would play that, or the chorus would play that. And feature scenes are like more of the, hey, this is a cool thing. This is moments of rare quiet and focusing on the environment itself. So just building up things. And also each scene needs 1 piece of lore. So the first scene was the Bone Quarries are forbidden because, by the prophet and cursed.
Okay.
So,
all right. So yeah, you've made it.
Well, what type of scene is this?
We're gonna go with an interaction scene.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And what is the name of this new location?
Let's see.
It actually can be an existing one. Remember, we have some existing scenes, locations. What do you call it? What was the first one called? Like the examiner's office, the bleach fields, and the house of skulls.
Bleach fields.
Or you can make one up.
Okay. This will be, beyond the bridge is the bleach fields. So, going forward, the Wanderer sees just what initially seems to be a shale ground of rock that is just going on for miles until they realize that it's, again, not rock itself, but different bones of, that's like travelers and whatnot, that have actually been arranged into fields themselves, each squared off, each looking like they have odd plow lines that would go through like it is being readied for a harvest. That has obviously never come. But that being said, they are all arranged in a way where they are rotated outside of, off one side where it is either, they are bleached either white or are in certain states of decaying or yellow. Some that actually even still have meat or viscera on it that is attended to by various crows or ravens along the way. As the wanderer travels through there, you do see one lone figure in that's like covered head to toe in a white robe that almost makes them indistinguishable from the bleached fields themselves, meticulously turning over bones on each side. They don't even seem to notice the wanderer because they're so engrossed with their activity.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, this is a new character. Do we have a name for this character?
So this is Francis the Bone Monk.
Francis the Bone Monk. Okay. All right. What's this?
Keeper of Tibius.
Okay. What? And also, you need to figure out what Francis wants from the Wanderer. They want something.
Okay.
So.
So the problem with Francis is that his duty is eternal. He cannot stop until that's like the entire the entire field is bleached as white. That's like as white as the sands on the beach. It needs to be. That's like he cannot stop from there. So he.
Okay, well, you just need to know. Like we can that through conversation. So, I guess the Wanderer Osk looks at the bleach fields with disdain. He looks mildly put off by it. Now, also don't forget to ask the chorus questions about other things, so the chorus can edit it, and the chorus can suggest things as well.
Yeah. So
Osk will look at Francis and see Francis moving and ask, "Is any? So are there other people visible, or just Francis?"
Francis is alone as far as the Wanderer can tell.
Are you? So yeah, so Osk will go to Francis, I guess, and just ask, "Are you alone? Is there anyone else here?"
I'm here with my friends, as he points out, attending to them eternally. There were many of us once when the fields were little, but all went to the fields eventually. If the chorus, you can look if the Wanderer does look down. Sorry, they can identify. There are bits and pieces on the bones that can be identified as different things. The
wind blows inner ear bones past in like sort of tumbleweed, click clack waves. They're hard to pin down. They're kind of like grit. Yeah.
Osk is definitely gonna realize what they are and be disgusted at these, just kick his boots off of them, trying, but it never works. So there's no one else here. Is this?
So this is where we all go, but I'm trying to eventually brighten them from their mortal remains so the souls trapped within can fly free. They cannot do that unless they are completely cleaned by the sun itself.
They cannot be cleaned. I see. Well, that sounds like a long and arduous task.
It is eternal until my time comes and I must be purified by the sun.
Must be purified. There's no one else here? No one at all?
No, there was the one that passed through, but they refused to help, and in fact, I think we're trying to steal things from the bones themselves. The last remaining essences. So,
how can you steal from something that is just... no one owns this.
So, but listen, if you will, and the chorus can describe the sounds that should be coming out.
Oh, it's just whistling wind, and the sounds of bones clacking together periodically. Yeah.
Oh,
if they were
Scrimshaw desolation. That's all that's out there. He thinks he's hearing something in it. But
if they were clean, the wind should carry the voices of the bones past, but they don't.
Is there any place to get fresh water?
There is at least. There is one spring off to the side, but it is. It is a well of the damned. It only leads into darkness.
I see. Well, I will take my leave and take my chances. I thirst.
Well, good luck. And remember, if you do need to die, leave your bones by the side so I can find them.
Yes, I will try to do that.
Nods and just continues to turn and scrape.
Checks his back several times, making sure no one is coming out at him from an angle.
Just the perennial sounds of bones turning and scraping.
Turning and scraping. Okay, so that was an interaction scene. So what's the bit of lore we got from that? So wait, the lore would be why Francis is doing that?
Mm-hmm.
What was the reason again?
Trying to purify it as a burial rite to put the spirits to rest, but also...
bones must be purified?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To purify the soul, but the souls are not at rest or have been stolen.
Bones must be purified or their souls will be not at rest.
Yeah, they'll be unrestful.
To put...
Or corrupted.
Okay. All right. So that's the lore. You don't know why that is, but you got to purify those bones. Put souls at rest. Okay, so that ends the scene. I imagine. I mean, Oscar's just going to leave because creepy bone guy.
Deuces.
So it definitely seems a bit off. All right, so we're going to pause again and write down our theories. So. All right, we're back, and we're ready for the third scene, and the world is now Caleb.
What are the types of scenes again?
Danger, interaction, and feature scenes. Feature scenes are trying to focus more on the world and sort of like giving a chance for to develop the character of the Wanderer a bit, and also just like they just encounter something that's interesting. Not necessarily a person or a fight or a danger. So, like some weird thing. Let's see here. So, but yeah, another interaction scene. We can have another danger scene. Yeah. Danger scenes. There we go. There's danger scenes. Interaction scenes and feature scenes. To open a feature scene, what location the scene takes place in, what lore the Wanderer will find, and how that lore is concealed in that location. So this will also be like, I guess, an investigative. Feature scenes could be investigative to a degree. With no enemies to fight, it's like how the Wanderer explores their surrounding. So yeah, and elaborate on the peculiarities of the area. So that's what feature. But we've done danger, we've done interaction. So what are you thinking?
I guess I'll do a feature scene. Yeah.
Okay. Is this at one of our established locations? The ones of the we already did the bleach fields.
It's in the Talcum Dunes.
The Talcum Dunes. Ooh, cool. I like that. All right, and what do the Talcum Dunes look like?
The Talcum Dunes are chalk white, enormous rolling sand dunes of bone powder that have come to rest between the increasingly close crenellated and arching spine bridges as they go further inland into the Bone Quarry, arching above Osk. In impossible angles to climb as, vertebrae snap and come to rest. Walking across the dunes requires wading through the bone dust of ages underneath the canopy of the writhing snake-like spines of the old serpents. Yeah.
Oh, the old serpents. Okay. So the bridges, there's more spine bridges and they go above the Talcum Dunes. Is that how to navigate it?
Yeah, but the angle gets too high. You can't climb them forever into the sky because the vertebrae get larger and further apart.
Okay.
So you've got to navigate the detritus beneath. Yeah.
Okay. So
from the bleach fields on the outskirts.
Right. Yeah. So as Osk hits the sheer scale of the spine bridges causes Osk to like pause for a moment and look up and kind of utterly just it takes him a minute to take it in just to realize how big these are. So yeah. Of course you could add in details.
Well, I'm actually the wanderer now.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
But that's pretty much, speaking of Osk's reaction to this, and concern that he will not be able to traverse this. But that being said, there are, that's like, he does feel that he can get away by climbing up or ambling up some of these vertebrae as far as he can, taking the harpoon and creating bridges or lines with the rope as well going across, and in some cases going a little bit higher to try to create a zip line that he can utilize to get with his cloak.
Okay.
Also using his ice armor to slicken it along his way.
Oh, right. Yeah, we haven't used the ice armor very much.
So, which, if nothing else, dipping his face down into it is at least some protection, as even though it permanently refreezes itself, it does provide at least enough moisture in the time where he's not completely choked out by the bone dust.
Okay.
So, Chorus, what new rot does he find in this place that hints as to how everything else became so bony and desiccated?
Okay, so he finds actually a mummified corpse of a mummified corpse sitting in a trance up in some little crevice hundreds of feet above the talcum dunes on one of this world serpent or giant serpent spine bridges. And in it, though, in the hands of this mummified corpse, there's actually a nest of young bats, new life taking shelter in the old, and they are unafraid of Osk, simply chirping at him, expecting food in the form of insects, waiting for their parents to come back. So yeah, cute baby bats in the corpse, in the mummified corpse's hands.
Osk realizes that this showing of life is, even though it is in the most blasted of lands, needs to continue to go forward, and voluntarily takes out some of the some sort of dry jerky of his own making at some point, and gingerly feeds it to each of the bats before going forward. So,
okay, yeah. We can keep going, or we can end the scene as Osk makes his way across the talcum dunes.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, I think the lore is that the spine bridges are made from... What kind of serpents are they?
I just called them the old serpents.
The old serpents, yeah. So that's a bit of lore. The spine bridges are the old... Yeah. So... Spine bridges, old serpents. We have old serpents now.
I really want to replay this. Only the lore you're doing is just like Metal Gear Solid bullshit. It's equally inexplicable.
Yeah.
I met Die Bone Man.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty easy to rescan.
Or just full Death Stranding in between.
We will pause again as we do more lore. Okay. Or jumping to conclusion. All right, we're back in, and I am back as the world. And... Let's see, so we've done one of each type of scene. I'm not going to do the second danger scene because that would be... I don't want to follow you. But I kind of want... Let's see here. To do a interaction scene. And this will be at the... so after the Talcum Dunes, Osk arrives at the trading house, where it is a So the trading house is a massive hall. Well, we'll call it the trading hall. Is a massive stone structure. Rare here. It is not made of bone, but it is a massive, long building with many entrances, many gates, so that each gauge is wide enough to allow a wagon in. And inside, as Osk jumps off the bridge and gets inside, he can see there is a woman calling out for bids on this fine pile of bones. Still pure, still sealed by the prophets, still sealed, intact, sealed by the prophet's blessing, unsullied by the corruption. You there, who's let's see, you there. Perhaps you would like this cask of bones, unsullied, pure. What do you have to trade? You look like you're from the north. Surely you have some delicious sweets, some rare preserved meat.
Do I?
I don't know.
Sure. Osk throws a.
Well, actually, what kind of food does Osk have to trade?
It's like most of the smoked and tanned grizzly that he had is gone at this point. So part of that given over to the bats. But I will say that there's a rare strain of dried iceberries that's like he's been carrying around with him for a while. Mm-hmm. It is a stark reminder of home.
Okay.
He throws the sack in front of the woman.
Iceberries. I've not tasted these in so long. Yes, I'm a trader. It was so good to see.
Men of the North do not risk corruption by wearing the bones of gods.
You do not want? It is sealed. Look, the prophet's blessing is here.
I will also put down like a crystal vial that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I need your tears. Of mourning is best.
Why would I be mourning? I am a prosperous merchant. We're just merely slow mourning.
Your memory of mourning shall suffice. Your tears, or you get nothing.
My tears? What do I have to cry over?
That would be for you to decide.
What?
Give it to me, and you shall cry over it no longer.
The trader, she looks very hungrily at the iceberries. It's been so long, I don't know. What do the iceberries taste of? I do not remember. Before I make my trade.
That's exactly it. Yeah. He just mutters that and stares into the middle distance.
I surely you are not here to take an old woman's tears. But but I will tell you, go no further here. It is darker, and the further down you go, you don't want to go to the bottom of the quarry. The sun never reaches that far down. This is as far as the light goes. But I remember what was their name? My children's and my children's children. They're out. Tell me, how was traffic on the bridge?
Sparse.
They've been away so long. It is still. Well, at least the bats have not roosted yet. That's the prophecy says. As long as the bats are the ill omen. As long as we don't see them, we'll be fine. Yes, I will cry tears of joy. She laughs.
Is she crying tears of joy?
She's crying. She looks very sad.
Can I catch the tears in the bottle?
Yes.
All right, I'll leave with the berries.
Yeah.
Osk smashes the the vial against his armor, and the waters of the tears freezes and makes another pauldron. And then he says, "A good trade," and wanders off.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's fucking good. We'll call the scene there.
Yeah.
And we gotta write some theories. Yeah. All right, about the trade. Yeah. So the lore of this, I would say probably
The pauldron of frozen tears.
it could be about the armor, or it could be about the quarry. Light doesn't go below.
Oh, yeah.
Further on, the light does not reach it because we're going down, like deeper into the quarry. So, I would say, although I like the ice armor thing, we'll say the ice armor.
That was absolutely.
Yeah, catches mourning, or the suffering of others. Yeah, the tears. Yeah,
Gotta make ice from something.
yeah,
Seems pretty dry here.
yeah. Yep. All right. All right. So we'll write some theories.
1 second.
All right. Now we're at our fifth scene for the first act. So, and this has to be danger because we've only done one danger so far.
Yep.
So, where are we? What is this location called?
This will actually be the House of Skulls.
This is the House of Skulls. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, the path from the that's like the market continues to take the traveler, as they said, further and further down.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, that's like as he continues to go down, it becomes far more oppressively hot, as though there is a massive heat source all around him, though he cannot tell where that is initially coming from, since it just seems completely omnipresent. Luckily, the new pauldron is doing its job of keeping him as cool as possible. So,
Okay.
Until he starts to see at least one speck of light that off in the distance, which sprouts into multiple different versions of that, which initially is thinking it could just be candles. But it appears to be some sort of ghost light, as there are multitudes of skulls that are starting to line the walls, each with ghostly green eyes and eyes in each of their sockets, eventually ending in what looks like a very small house that is built at the end of this tunnel, completely out of skulls, that it otherwise looks kind of dark, except for one lantern in the middle and somebody sitting at the end of a table, beckoning towards the wanderer. He cannot see him clearly at this moment, due to the shadows around, despite the light. And so,
all right. So the wanderer looks at the skulls suspiciously, and hoists the harpoon at the ready. And calls out to the person at the table. Although I'm merely passing through, what do you wish of me?
so it's also if the figure continues to beckon the wanderer closer into the actual house before answering any other
How big
questions.
is this house? Is it like the size of a cabin?
Each small cabin.
Small cabin. Okay.
Yeah.
And Baba Yaga size.
Baba
Yeah,
Yaga
Baba
size.
size, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's-
Yeah.
yeah. It's about Baba
So
Yaga.
it's a single Baba Yaga. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
One bedroom, one bath.
You don't get to dump Baba
Two
Yagas
chicken
down
legs.
here, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're lucky if you have the chicken legs down here. So,
Yeah. The wanderer steps into the House of Skulls.
the doors completely it disappears. It just seems that all the skulls have reformed itself around, and it looks. The figure looks up. Can't really see its face, except that it seems to almost change in the light, going back and forth.
What does the face look like then?
It looks like different faces, specifically things that, it's like different faces of old, young there, specific details. A specific face comes up.
Some of the faces?
The faces that look across the table.
Yeah.
I don't know. The figure is wearing a cloak, and all is visible is the face. It looks of Osk's It looks as someone Osk finds very familiar, but
Okay.
Can't place at all. So
Someone who seems familiar. Firekeeper. Then he catches himself and raises the spear, raises his harpoon up and just throws it as soon as he sees the familiar face.
all right. It's like as it's going through, the harpoon seems to find its target, but when Osk pulls back on it, there doesn't seem to be any weight to it at all. It literally is standing in midair. When he pulls back on it, it comes out just coated in what can only be described as the viscera of darkness. It doesn't even feel right. The figure looks up, says, "Combat will be necessary to pass me, but if you wish to find the one you seek, so that requires a game," and you see several cards going on to the table.
Okay. All right. So
representing different animals.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
He's giving you an inscription.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a gift, buddy.
Okay. Well, I mean, the chorus gets to determine what price. It gives me 2 prices to potentially pay.
All right. You can choose to.
And these are relatively minor in Act 1.
Yeah, you can choose to fight the creature anyway. In which case, Osk is injured but saved by his ice armor. But as that piece cracks, he loses that memory of mourning forever, and cannot remember that pain anymore. And much of the armor is built of him. Or he can play the game, which is rigged, and lose his precious hourglass that we gave him.
Okay. So Osk chooses to fight, and he loses a piece of his armor.
There's nothing under the poncho but spines.
Yeah.
all grafted to a single ominous head.
Yeah.
Casting illusions in the hood. Claws at you like a spider. Yeah.
But no, absolutely, you managed to wing that, but it does exact its price before dying, or at least assuming that you think it's dying, taking the pauldron off and saying the clear morning skies are something you will never experience again, and you can feel the tears rolling down your face as you realize that memory is gone, and then become slightly confused about what you were crying about.
Osk responds.
It's an impaling weapon, man. It's not great on skeletons.
I know,
you
it's
need
not.
way more blunt.
But you stab it enough.
You kind of need a sword breaker for that.
You stab it enough, it smashes really. It still smashes. It's magic harpoon. It'll still do the job. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so we finished scene the first act, and before we get to writing down our theories, actually, no, we'll do our theories, then I'll read the next part. Okay. The lore is, actually, that's up to the world. What is the lore? Something about...
Skullhouse's playing card game?
Oh, yeah, so this is, the... the lore of this particular one is this is the final exit into the catacombs underneath. It literally is a bet whether or not you get
the entrance to the catacombs.
Yeah, the entrance to the catacombs.
House of Skulls is entrance to the catacombs.
Yeah.
Okay. That is definitely lore. All right, now we get to write our theories. All right, part 1 of the game as ended. I'm reading from the teaching guide again. Now we enter into part 2, starting with this next scene. At the end of any scene, the Wanderer can choose to initiate the final confrontation with the adversary. This can happen one of 3 ways. If at the end of the scene, the Wanderer decides to go somewhere where the adversary might be lurking, or it feels like the right time, the player, the Wanderer, can choose to initiate the final confrontation. The next scene will be the revelation. Alternatively, if after a part 2 scene, the new world wants to initiate the final confrontation, they can choose to frame their next scene as the revelation. In this case, rather than the Wanderer entering the adversary's lair, the adversary comes to confront the Wanderer instead. Finally, after 3 scenes, neither of the above has happened. The next scene will be the revelation. So, we have to. It cannot be this first scene. But after that, it's up to whoever's playing the Wanderer or the world.
Okay.
Basically. So, and then we have the revelation. So, there's 2 scenes for the revelation: the confrontation and then the epilogue. So, but yeah, that's part 3. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I am. Oh yes, the world. What kind of scene is this? Same thing, but now the stakes are higher. We have left the House of Skulls, and this was the entrance to the catacombs. Is that where we're going, or what location in the catacombs is that? Like,
it's a danger scene.
Okay,
it's the sclerotic stairwell, which is a circular twisting stairwell of bone where the old serpents writhe between our world and the next, that leads down into abyssal darkness on these like weaving, intertwining stairways of bone. Yeah.
Scalar staircase, cool. I like that. So, what is the nature of what's the danger? Or like
as Osk is walking on the vertebrae, there appear in front of him gossamer wires of metal that he sees strung throughout the various vertebrae, tripwires almost.
Oh, okay.
A fall on the sclerotic stairwell would be quite bad.
Okay, so it's like, okay. So yeah, I guess then the Wanderer has to...
Yeah.
How is the Wanderer navigating these deadly traps?
Okay. So the issue of that is, and just to make sure that it's all strung up all along the stairs, so it's
all
easy
up and down it, yeah.
up and down to it. And was it like a full spiral staircase going
multiple
ones
interlocking? Yeah,
with that. So he realizes that he can. It's like that. Even though this is set up in an intricate pattern, this is very the basic setup is simple to most of the traps that he set with his father while hunting big prey out in the wilds, and starts taking calculated risks to activate certain of these wires in succession in hopes that it will literally jam up the different traps on each other. So making just very slow calculated risks of attacking, avoiding, and then trying to lock each trap up.
Is this the scene before the end or not? Because you decide that.
I thought you would decide that.
No, you both get a chance to decide.
Okay.
Like the world, the Wanderer. If at the end of the scene the Wanderer can decide to go. So at the end of the scene, the Wanderer can decide that it's
that being said,
world
that's fine.
Can at the part 2 scene, the new world, the next world person playing the world. So yeah, it's at the end of a scene where we decide if the next thing's going to be the
okay. So
all right, Chorus. What are the stakes then of him disarming these traps? Or not?
Okay. So in order to disarm these traps, it is he has to either call up a memory of his father in order to remember how to disarm these traps exactly, and that will he knows to do so. He will have to call up his father's. He will have to call upon his father's spirit, which will cause his father's spirit to suffer in the afterlife. It will cause him a century of misery. So he can do that, or he can draw upon the spirits of the hunt to tell him how to do this, in which case he will be hunted as prey in the next time he sleeps and have vivid nightmares that will torment him.
Okay. I know this is the last one, but no, I'm not going to take my father, so I will take the burden of the nightmares upon... Well, he will also take the burden of the nightmares upon himself, so...
Okay. So yeah, he is not going to have sleep for a while, and he will wake up bleeding. But yeah, so that's when you go to sleep. It's fine. In the lore of this, it could have been about the old serpents. What were you saying about the old serpents?
This is where their ball writhed between our world and the next.
Okay. The ball of serpents writhe here. That's lore. Between this world and the next, they're from another world. Okay. Between worlds, yay! But I didn't know they were between worlds, but they are now. All right. We'll pause so we can. It's at the end of the scene now.
Oh yeah.
So Wanderer, do you decide? Are you going to go somewhere where the adversary might be lurking?
I'll go and just pause it for a second for group consensus. Do we want to?
It's your
go
choice.
To the end. So okay. So we're just gonna we're gonna confront the adversary now.
Okay.
So.
The next scene will be the revelation. So,
okay.
We will first write our things down. All right. Now we are moving into the final moments of the game. The Wanderer is about to confront the adversary, and at most one of them will walk away. But before we can do that, someone needs to be the one to decide what the adversary is and volunteer to take the role of the world for this last clash. We've been writing our ideas down as we go, leaping to conclusions, so this shouldn't be too difficult. The idea is to create an adversary which fits naturally with the lore everyone has contributed to this point and feels like a good fit for the area they dominate. Does anybody have a good idea for the adversary?
Let's see.
The prophet serpent.
It sounds like you have an idea.
Sure.
Okay. In that case, you play the world. And let's see here. Otherwise I'll come up with something. All right. The next two scenes for the revelation. During the revelation, I'll just read this. You can, the final paragraph. The world.
The next two scenes of the revelation, where I tell you what the adversary is, and the clash, where the wanderer and the adversary stage their final encounter. During the revelation, I will be doing most of the description, but the chorus can weigh in as normal. The clash operates just like the danger scenes we've seen so far, except there will be two prices to pay.
The boss has a second phase. The adversary has a second phase. So, set the scene. What is this location called?
The floor of creation.
The floor of creation. I like that. Yeah. Okay. What does it look like?
Just a vast abyssal plain where the writhing spines of the serpents unkink and go off into 8 cardinal directions forever into the abyss. Yeah.
Okay. And so tell us about the prophet serpent.
A giant world-eating serpent that has encircled the remains and still lives, though it is old and ancient and covered in skin it has not shed and flaking off. And it's in a hat. It's got like a big Pope hat.
Oh,
it's a prophet serpent. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. All right. How does the wanderer react?
With abject stoicism, seeing the architect of all of his doom, what that which has trapped his father in an afterlife.
Well, that's internal.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I knew in a minute. So.
Yeah, that's
no. It just pulls out the weapon. The harpoon, the harpoon, spinning it. Determined to take it down.
All right. All right. In the first part of the fight, how does the prophet serpent attack?
Oh, okay. I suppose it's just writhing around, shattering through the skyscraper tall construction of its dead former lovers. So just up and down like a remora eagle screaming, through the dark. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of dodge rolling is required.
All right.
Wait, no tanking?
Okay, so the Osk has two choices for a price for the first phase. Either some broken ribs from being slammed by the attack, or his left hand is pulverized as it's caught between one of these petrified, ossified serpents and the prophet serpent.
Okay. Well, the left hand pulverized, so as he's trying to rappel down one of the other gigantic spines and does get a hit in, but it almost literally rips the hand off at the wrist.
Okay. So he's wounded, but what kind of injury does Osk deliver to the prophet serpent in return?
By doing that, though, he managed to at least gain enough momentum to spin the harpoon and land a hit on the base of its neck, and as it's pulling up, he yanks the rope back down, which causes a large laceration to form at the base of its own spine, creating an open wound, a very open wound down to its core. So
okay, all right. What is the second phase of the fight then? I mean, they could have a magical attack.
So the prophet serpent falls down dead, and then Osk is getting ready to leave when there is a twitch in the corpse of the prophet serpent, of course, and then a naked, shining, golden woman crawls from the gullet of the prophet serpent, Beatrice, the first concubine of humanity, whom he consumed to begin the fall. She's got crazy AoE attacks. Just
like magical or like a sword?
Oh, both.
Okay.
Just tearing into.
Okay.
She's got a flame sword. That's not good when you have ice armor.
No, it's not.
She's just tearing into the outsider barbarian that killed her husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for prices for Osk, his armor. How does Osk attack or counterattack?
So I can at least So finding all of the AoE attacks that are out there, you cannot get any kind of any kind of actual hit on it through the harpoon. It actually disintegrates during the fight because of the massive blasts of energy that are coming from Beatrice, and decides that he can only do one other thing that would at least hopefully give him the time. He decides to finally access the inner power of his clan, which literally melts off of the ice armor. So as he's overheating, giving him the speed, but also takes off the hourglass amulet, which is like the amulet of lost time, shatters it, which stops time enough for him to get one final shot in.
Okay. So the price he can pay is that when he slays Beatrice, he could either lose his left arm up to the elbow as the energy corrupts his wounded hand, and he has to take his hunting knife out and cut it off before it spreads to the rest of his body. Or the magical energy transforms him into a strange, monstrous serpent hybrid being.
He'll just take the ultimate sacrifice of his arm to basically, to end Beatrice once and for all. So,
okay. Very good. So now everything's almost over. We move on to the epilogue. We change roles one more time. And then so we just go and do that. So, let's see here. The wanderer must choose whether they replace the adversary or abandon the area. And then the world narrates how the area has changed as a result of the wanderer's decisions. So I'll explain that a little more in detail. But basically, yeah, you can either live in the catacombs now. I'm not sure why, but that is...
It's always a choice. So.
Yeah. Then or you can abandon the area and move on. But so if they choose to replace... then the world narrates how the area changes as a result of the wanderer's action. So, Osk, Mr. Wanderer, what does Osk do? Does Osk replace the adversary, or does he leave?
Osk leaves. Yeah. He's on that ranty shit.
Yeah. Probably absorbed. Well, he obviously probably absorbs her breath, dying breath, to regain his power. Gets a new set of crystal ice armor. A lot of mourning there for a dead world serpent and concubine of the first
concubine of humanity.
Yeah, first concubine of humanity. Let's see here. So, what effects does the adversary's death or absence on the local environments change? I would say, with the death of the prophet serpent, that a great storm, it starts to rain for the first time in countless years over the Bone Quarry. The prophet serpent kept it dry, but now that is gone, there is a great flood beginning, washing away the talcum dunes, knocking the bridges down. The quarry becomes a lake, and there's no more corruption in that regard because there's no more bones. They are now buried beneath
just calcium lake.
Yeah. The many of the bats died, but enough of them survived. The spine bridge is still intact. The outer areas are fine or intact. So it is a new realm. Who knows what? Will it become a calcium lake? Will will the bones take over the waters, or will the waters pollute and dilute the? We don't know, but it is now a lake. Life begins anew. And that's let's see if the owner died. And everybody and all the people the Wanderer men are dead.
Yay!
The
Sweet dead.
The trading hall was flooded.
The sweet release of dead.
Francis the Bone Francis
the Bone Monk's just like, yay!
Yeah, Francis was actually close enough to the bridge. He could have escaped, but he chose not to. He let himself be flooded to stay with the bones.
No, God, he's like that one guy from Waterworld, finally.
Yeah, finally. Exactly.
That's how everybody is in a game like this.
Yeah. Finally. And that's it. Any loose ends remain unresolved. Any questions unanswered remain unanswered. Osk moves on. And first off, question, comment, discussion. What you guys think of the game?
It's fun.
I think so.
Fun no prep system.
Yeah.
The only thing I was thinking right now, I know it was probably us right now, just kind of discussing like everything.
I do want to go over each of our theories for it, but just any other thoughts on the system or the presentation.
I'd be interested to see it do something other than what it's trying to emulate.
Like there is, like I said,
not because I think that's like something it has to be able to do as a game system.
Yeah.
Just because I'd be interested to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I do want to get Lovecraft-esque now because that's Lovecraftian horror, so that could be done for a cosmic horror.
Or we're seeing it where it's more like the trip version, right, of an adventure where it's not immediately Dark Souls, but something that's more, I guess like Ryotama for lack of a better description, where you're just doing the journey and seeing how that might turn out. So
what kind of like genre or subgenres of stories would you most want to emulate with this kind of system? Anything come to mind?
Well, I think you could do like something equally inscrutable. Like, like Metal Gear anytime.
Yeah.
Metal Gear is actually a really good idea. I like doing. Next time I do this, if I definitely want to do a Metal Gear version.
Just start talking about Bilderberg Group and like the Patriots and all that kind of nuts.
I do. I want to get Thad in on that.
Oh yeah. No, that
would be very good. So I think that's something we'll have to do at some point.
Maybe obviously the more weeb choice right now, seeing how an isekai thing could work out with this. So you're just dropped to another world. So having to kind of
type fantasy anime would be very easy to do with this. But yeah, so
I didn't have enough snake girlfriends for that.
So in terms of personal theories, I'll go first. My overall theory is that the old serpents voluntarily sacrificed themselves to help the younger people, the prophets people, but the prophets people enslaved other groups of people in order to mine the Bone Quarry and betrayed the old serpents, and that the adversary was a serpent hybrid assassin who was sent to punish them for their sacrilege, and that's what had been the adversary. So everything was a judgment from the old serpents for, we gave you all this shit and then you fucked it all up and enslaved people, and that's not cool. That's not what we want. We wanted you to all be peaceful, nice, and now fuck you. So that was my overall theory. Like the bridge was like at its height a place of merchant, traffic. Economic engine, very prosperous. The bone trade went all over the world. The trading hall, there were thousands people visiting, and the bones were a very important economic, the system to safety and stability and prosperity. But then they had to go and fuck it up and piss off the old serpents, because they killed their mortal forms, but not their spirit forms, and so that's why they sent the spirit serpent hybrid to punish them. So that was my overall theory. We can get into specifics, but that was Caleb. What was your theory?
I think this game's like good for making a monologue that they would record and put into a Godspeed song. You see the serpents or the I said that the Bone Quarry was the remains of the mating ball of the gods, where the old serpents bred and birthed the world into being. But one of them, the prophet serpent, betrayed the snake polyamory agreement and fell in love monogamously with Beatrice, the first concubine of humanity.
Oh no!
And through loving humanity, he destroyed the rest of the world. And the other snakes died of heartbreak. And that was the beginning of the last age.
Damn.
From Softy.
I think mine was a little more basic on there. I had initially said that the bone fields or the bone yard was essentially an area called the Soul Forge of an older civilization that was utilizing basic soul magics to create different not just necromancy, but a bunch of other horrifying magics. The country they worked for grew to that's like opulent and greedy, and decided that they needed a final defense. So they ended up trying to create a Titan, which completely blew out of proportion, and that's immediately decided to, once it was created, essentially erased everybody else from this, creating the giant bone fields as necessary. So it was just the remnant of the civilization, that everything kind of went downwards from there, when you were saying that at the markets they had the bones of the old nobles, that was ones that had a little bit of magic left over that people could use for survival or whatnot. The hall itself right now is thinking of more just the entrance to a giant necropolis that had been constructed after the fact, where people tried to survive.
I mean, I called it a trading hall.
That was the brain that I went to. And then the adversary was the reincarnation of that's like the apprentice of the main sorcerer who created the Titan, and his love was destroyed in there, so he immediately was trying to basically corrupt everything that he could in order to get her back, including going to the world serpent to get her back.
Yeah, cool. I like how we did, even though with the similar, like very different, like theories. And I think that's probably, I guess, the main point of the game is to come up with like wildly different theories for the same set of vague ass lore. The only thing is I realized I didn't really come up with like why. Okay, the bones are important for trade, but like why? I guess they're magic. Don't worry about it. It's just magic stuff used for magic. It's like we dig them out of the ground. We use them for fuel for our magic stuff. That's not a metaphor for anything. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
The bones are ever present. They will never run out.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. Well, that's Bleak Spirit. It was certainly bleak, and I feel vague.
I want points for how few From Shock jokes I made.
you did try your best.
I did do
points
my
for
absolute
restraint.
best.
So.
You did. It was very good. I'm very proud of you, Caleb.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Before we go, Caleb, do you want to plug anything?
Buy Phase Anatomy. It is currently available for PDF and should be available for print very soon.
Yay! Cool. We'll do another AP of that. Whatever.
Yeah, it's on Drive-Thru RPGs. So.
Yay! Drive-Thru RPG. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.